you?
Oh, yeah. You do a marvelous Southern
You
accent.
thought so?
Ah,
well, you haven't
yes.
really heard my real Southern accent now.
Oh, you're...
No, see, I'm working on it for my next picture.
What is... Picture. Oh, get that. Who is the timekeeper? You'll be over here where I can see you. You're rolling?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, Bette, what a thrill to get to meet you.
Thank you.
I want to know, right off the bat, what are you going to wear to the Academy Awards?
Oh, well, you got me there. I don't know. I don't have a clue. I can't even think that far ahead. Gee, that would be fun, wouldn't it, if they actually did that? See how I went from I just jumped from... I don't have a clue. It's very flattering, though, all this attention, I must say.
It's fun.
Great fun. It's much more magical than I ever could have dreamed.
Is it better than working at the baths?
Nothing's better than working at the baths. Those were fun days, too. I sometimes have really no perspective on what I've been through in the last 10 years, you know. And every now and again, some interviewer will read my biography to me and indicate, you know, to me some of the things that I've been through. And I just can't believe all that. I can't believe that I've done so many things. It astonishes me. I have no memory. My memory is very short. I can remember yesterday, and I look forward to tomorrow, but, you know, a year ago or 2 years ago, I can't remember.
Nothing wrong with that.
I guess not.
Nothing wrong with that. Did you ever know Janis Joplin?
No, I never knew her, but I saw her in the late 60s. I saw her at the Fillmore, and she was just wonderful. She was wonderful. She changed my life.
In what way?
Well, you know, she was so free, and she was so vital and so full of energy, and so unafraid, fearless she was. And it was a time when everyone, you know, my generation, we were just coming up through the 50s and the 60s, which was really sort of contained, and the late 60s really was an explosion of all those old things. I mean, all those old bonds were broken by all the excitement of the flower children, and she was just wonderful. I loved her.
Bette, you have, and you're the greatest promoter of it yourself. You're always saying, you know, that you're trashy and sleazy and all that. And you obviously adopted that image, but why did you go with that instead of, why didn't you, you know, go with a big glamour image or something?
I thought it was very funny. I thought it was funny. I thought it would amuse people. And I think I'm right. I think they still get a big kick out of someone who says who doesn't claim to be anything but what they really are. You know, if you're from the wrong side of the tracks and you were born poor and brought up poor, and it's foolish to pretend you're a white duchess, you know, when you really come from the wrong side of the tracks. But if you say, well, I'm just from the wrong side of the tracks and I don't really care, and this is these are the things that make people I know happy and make them laugh, then you're giving new meaning to all the people who have experienced life the same way you do. You know, I mean, I don't mean to sound so serious about it, but I always thought it was funny. I always thought bad girls were funny, and that bad girls really did have more fun. You know, they certainly, when I was growing up, they certainly seemed to have more fun. You know, their dresses were real tight and their shoes were real high, and they wore real pointy bras, and they teased their hair to oblivion. And I thought, gee, if I could just be like that for 5 minutes, because I was like a librarian, you know. I was a real good student, and I was the president of my class, and I was very rigid, and I really wanted to bust out. And the only way I could bust out, actually, was by adopting this persona of someone who had, you know, lived the high life and come through smiling.
If you were starting right now, Bette, what might you adopt?
Well, trash still brings the customers in. I'd probably stick to my trashy thing. I'd have to say it's been so much fun. I mean, people don't expect you to, when you say, well, I'm just trash, they don't expect hardly anything from you, and you can give them anything. And people, if they know me well, realize that underneath all that silliness is actually a lot of hard work and a lot of dedication to the performance. You know, it looks very spontaneous and it looks like it's just thrown together, but really, there's a lot of thought that goes into it, a good deal of thought. It is in its way very elegant, if I may be so bold.
Bette, if you could have anything in the world,
Yes?
what? Or
Well,
who?
I'm sure there's someone in Dallas-Fort Worth who's dying to answer that question for me. Tall, very tall, 6 feet. I'd like someone over 6 feet, a nice 6-footer, 6'5", someone to look down on the little puppy, if you understand my drift.
You like Southern men?
I don't mind Southern men, I got to say. They're very courtly. I like them a lot. Texans are... Texans are very charming, one finds. They can really sort of like lay that rap on you, you know, that sort of like just sort of oozes out of their mouths. I enjoy Southern men a lot, yeah.
Well, now Fred Forrest, who plays your lover, is a Texan.
Isn't he fabulous? He is. I just think he's brilliant. He taught me a lot.
Are you in love with him?
In a way, yeah. I was terrified of him when I met him. I had seen a film that he did a couple of years ago called When Legends Die, and he was so wonderful in that. He played an Indian, and I didn't know how he did it. He just was this creature, this wonderful. He was so quiet, and yet there was so much going on. You know, he's a very alive presence. And when I met him, I didn't recognize him. I thought, oh my! I mean, I knew it wasn't. See, that's the charm of acting. I couldn't believe that he was really the same fellow. I thought he was brilliant in the film. I think he's going to go a long way.
Yeah, one final question. You've been giving a lot of interviews, and you gave an interview recently to Gene Shalit on the Today Show, and he point blank asked you about your involvement with drugs. Did you resent him asking you that question?
No. How can you resent Gene Shalit? You would have to get up pretty early in the morning to resent him. You know?
And you did.
No, I don't resent any of it. I figure it comes with the territory, you know. I don't really have, my personal life is not at this point anyway, it's kind of quiet, and there really isn't all that much to talk about. The excitement in my life is mostly in my work. You know, the dangerous part, the risk-taking, all of it's in my work, very little in my personal life. I don't mind any of it. I don't mind answering any of those questions, because the answers are usually so tedious and boring, you know.
No, that was not a boring answer.
It wasn't?
Because you admitted that you'd had some.
Well, a little bit, but not to the. I never had to go somewhere and dry out, if that's what you mean. I've had a little bit, just about the same as anybody my age has had. I can't do any of it anymore, though, you know. I mean, I can't smoke grass because I get totally paranoid. I can't drink because I'm a vicious drunk. I never learned how to sip. I've always been a guzzler, you know. And I wind up biting people. It's very embarrassing. I mean, all sorts of people in the United States have, like, scars from where I bit them. I can't snort cocaine because I'm allergic to it. It makes my face swell up and my nose run. And acid I did once when this guy told me he was leaving me. You know, I had a real bad trip. I can't think why. And so I haven't had a lot. I'm looking for my drug. Do you know what it is? If anybody has anything to recommend, I wish they'd write me a letter, dear. I keep thinking maybe codeine or glue or something. But so far, nothing.
I think a Tylenol is about as strong as you should ever go, Bette. Bette, you are an absolute hoot and a trip, and I really have loved and adored this interview.
Thank you, Miss Bobbie. Well, thank you, Bob.
That's really Southern.
Thank you, dear.
Love you.
Love you. Oh, that's so fabulous. I want to learn how to talk like that. I do.
Oh, fantastic.
Miss Bobbie?
You know, my problem was holding in so I wouldn't laugh out loud. Yeah, you can just, yeah, okay. No.
Maybe an eyeliner.
Okay. All right. Okay. Bette, what are you going to wear to the Academy Awards? Because I know you're going to be there. Your orange pants? Okay. Did you ever know Janis Joplin? Bette, by your own admission, you're always saying, you know, that you have this flashy, trashy, sleazy image. Now, why did you adopt that? Why not glamour or some other image? Okay. Bette, if you could have anything in the world, what or whom? You have been giving a lot of interviews, and you recently gave one to Gene Shalit on the Today Show, and he just point blank asked you about your involvement with drugs. Did you resent that? Okay. Was there anything else I can't?
I like the, are you in love with him?
Oh, yes. Thank you. Thank you, Tom. Okay. Okay. Are you in love with him? Okay. All right. Are you in love with him? Okay, now into the camera and the sign-off. Was there anything else you can think of?
No.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
Okay. This is Bobbie Wygant in Los Angeles with 20th Century Fox Pictures for Channel 5 Action News.
You want to look in? Because actually, it
Yeah,
would be
okay.
from her.
Yeah,
Look
let's
right
do
at-
one that
look
way.
at the
Yeah,
chair,
that's good to do it both ways. Okay.
And go.
This is Bobbie Wygant in Los Angeles with 20th Century Fox Pictures for Channel 5 Action News. Okay? Terrific. This is Bobbie's voiceover for the Bette Midler story for Monday, November 12th, 5 p.m. Take one. 3, 2, 1. What has gone to Bette Midler's head is blonde hair coloring and a frizzy perm. That's her super rock star look for the rose. But Bette's own image is no less outrageous. She has always described herself as trash with flash. All right, and a take 2 for insurance on that same thing. Take 2, 3, 2, 1. What has gone to Bette Midler's head is blonde hair coloring and a frizzy perm. That's her super rock star look for the rose. But Bette's own image is no less outrageous. She has always described herself as trash with flash. All right, on to the next portion then. Take 1, 3, 2, 1. The talk in Hollywood is that the kid from the wrong side of the tracks is on her way to superstardom and an Oscar nomination. For Bette Midler, trash is a smash. And a take 2 on that same thing. Take 2. 3, 2, 1. The talk in Hollywood is that the kid from the wrong side of the tracks is on her way to superstardom and an Oscar nomination. For Bette Midler, trash is smash. And one more take on that same thing. Take 3. 3, 2, 1. The talk in Hollywood is that the kid from the wrong side of the tracks is on her way to superstardom and an Oscar nomination. For Bette Midler, trash is a smash.